I thought we were much better. I thought we got back to trying to do the things that we need to do on both ends of the floor. Happy with the contribution of the guys off the bench. I thought Mo and Kubi were really good defensively, and I thought that particularly in the beginning of the second half, we were able to string together some consecutive stops, which allows us to play at the pace that we want to play. We were somewhat too deliberate at times offensively. That's my fault, as I told our team earlier when the game was over. We have done nothing since Sunday morning at 7 except work on defensive things, whether that be in the film room or walkthroughs or practice. So I thought our field goal percentage was much better, but I thought at times we were somewhat slow.
Obviously, you look at the stat sheet, and the thing that stands out is 20 turnovers forced.
Yes, that's the number we want to get to. And you know, a lot of things go together in the things that we deduct from a stat sheet, some of which are not on a stat sheet, but we kind of organize some things that we call special teams, and one of those items is our turnovers versus their turnovers, and a lot of that is due to paint touches. We did a lot better job of getting the ball to the paint offensively, and in the first half we did a good job of keeping them out of the paint. In the second half, they got too many paint touches, not off penetration, but off throwing it to the post, whether that was actually a post player or not. And that's something we're going to have to guard against no matter who we play. You can pick a guy on our team and probably post him up.
What was your game plan going in against Ayers? You know, you've had a lot of success against him, obviously.
He's a really good player. He's their leading scorer, leading rebounder. He was Horizon Player of the Week last week. He doesn't look like that he would be the leading scorer and the leading rebounder, but he's a really good player. He's got great hands. He's so wide that he's hard to maneuver around, but he's more mobile than you would anticipate that he would be, and I thought Lazar did a good job with him. Relative to our plan, I mean, we tried to skew some of the things that we always do and have a higher priority on it, and I thought we had some success with that in the first half, but he's a hard matchup.
For your starters, Butler had a nice game today.
He's a good player. He's continuing to get better. He's going to be able to score points for us. He was able to play more on the perimeter tonight than he has been over the last couple of games because Jerron Mayman was able to play, and then Eric Williams was able to get some good minutes, and so that allows Jimmy to play more on the perimeter. I think it was a nice balance of him playing on the outside and on the inside, but he's really got to get more rebounds than he got. Five's not enough, particularly on the offensive end. He didn't have any. We had one offensive rebound as a team, and I understand we made one out of every 2 shots that we attempted for the game, but Jimmy's got to get some of those misses.
You feel like Dwight is pushing a little bit right now?
No, I think I contributed to all of our offensive stagnation, if that would be the appropriate word. We took too many bad shots in the second half against North Carolina State. We want to score in the first 10 seconds of a possession because I think that that's where we have a chance to be our best. But if we don't score in the first 10 seconds, we need to get the ball reversed side, top side, and then get a paint touch. And too often against North Carolina State in the second half, we wouldn't score in the first 10 seconds, but literally we were taking a shot in the first 2 or 3 seconds of the next. You know what I'm saying? And we can't do that because that trends towards us playing more defense than we're playing offense. And heading into the North Carolina State game, like against Florida State, our time of possession was 27 minutes. 27 minutes is really good. That's a hard number to get to. It was 27 minutes and we got beat by 1, which tells you that defensively we weren't very good. And then when you look at our number against North Carolina State, that number was 20. That's definitely not good enough for a team that's as small as we are. So I don't think Bikes is pushing or pressing. I think it's because we've done nothing since Saturday morning at 9 o'clock in preparation for North Carolina State. We've done nothing offensively.
Sort of getting back to Ayers, this is probably the 3rd or 4th game where you guys have held the other team's leading scorer to single figures. Obviously, just 2 points for him, pretty remarkable. Is that something that you guys try to key on every game? Is get that leading scorer, get him out of their comfort zone?
Well, yes. I mean, that's what the scouting report says. And the thing that I just told our team is the scouting report for the opponent says Lazar Hayward, Lazar Hayward, Lazar Hayward. So when we throw it inside and Zar starts doing the back down, back down, back down, that means he needs to pass it. because everybody's just locking up. And I think the thing that we've got to continue to get better at is tonight, 17 out of their 51 points came from two guys off the bench, number 52 and number 23. Well, like I told our team just a minute ago, you have to play to the scouting report, not just the first page, every single page, because you can't let a guy that's coming off the bench whip you, because that can be the guy that wins them the game. And I thought that we did a good job on 55, and nothing against 23 or 52, but we can't allow them to score 25% of their points. That's no good.
Coach, talk about DJ and his performance tonight.
He's a good player. Offensively, everybody, since anybody has seen him, knows that offensively he's talented. And I think that defensively he's really maturing. And I think over the last 12 days he grew up a lot in Orlando. We spent a lot of time with him. He's similar to Jimmy when Jimmy came here. He was a qualifier out of high school. He goes 1 year at junior college. He plays 30 games. He's the best player. He shoots all the balls. He shoots those balls when he wants to shoot those balls. If he wants to guard, he will guard. If he doesn't want to guard, he catches his breath because he's about to shoot the next ball. So he comes here, and 65 to 70% of our practice time, individual workouts every single day, is defensive specific. He misses 4 weeks because of his foot injury. I make him sit out 2 weeks more because I know how much he's going to mean to our program. So he's just now getting to the point where he's had enough reps on both ends of the floor to have some comfortability in what we're trying to do. And I think that when he can become just as much of a presence defensively as he does offensively, then he's going to be a really core person to our team.
Obviously, there's different matchups that dictate this, but is there a number in your mind in terms of shot attempts per night that you want to see this team get up based on its athleticism?
Yeah, we would like the game to have 73 possessions. I think if it gets over 80, we're in trouble. If it gets under 63, we're probably going to lose. So I don't process it based on field goal attempts, but more so possessions. And I think that we did a much better job tonight. That's why, relative to what I was saying earlier against North Carolina State when I was answering Todd's question, is if we don't score in the first 10 seconds and then we're shooting the ball in the next 2 or 3 seconds, we're going to get beat. Because if we're shooting it in the first 10 seconds, our field goal percentage is going to be really good. But if we're not in the first 10 or the last 10 and we're playing right there in that middle 15 and we're shooting it at the first 2 or 3 seconds of that middle 15, we're not going to shoot a very high field goal percentage. Because that means we didn't score in secondary, we didn't get the ball reversed with pace, side, top, side, we didn't get a paint touch. It just means we shot a bad ball.